Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, the Rumpled One, coming to you on Friday, June the 18th. The year's 2021. Let's talk trading. It's time for the weekly wrap up. And we're going to wrap up the week with a video that's for educational purposes only. Your results may have differed from mine. Just remember, risk management. Let's not lose any more in any one particular trade than you're willing to lose. So, looking at the weekly, isn't this a very interesting chart here? First, all the weekly gaps have filled, and you can see the pound has definitely taken a tumble here. We're 313 pips off of the high. I was kidding with Walmart a couple of weeks ago. I kept saying that right here at 142 even, there weren't any closes above that level. It's like it'd be nice to have gone short there and held. Be worth close, would have been worth a 400 pip trade right there. So, somebody can go, that's hindsight. And yeah, now you can say, because if I would have said that there and we were looking at, say, 1.8, 400 pips to the upside, you would have said, yeah, your shorts got short circuited. But anyway, on the weekly chart, you see we broke below last week's low, 252 pips below it at the moment. So taking a simple horizontal line there on that breakout, once again, would have paid off. Looking at the daily chart, we had the opening range for the week. And you see we broke out of it hard on Wednesday, so going short right around the 140.69. That would have also paid off, be 248 pips up, which if you notice that weekly low right there, there was another opportunity for a nice little payoff. Once again, no squigglies were harmed in the making of these videos. Horizontal line trade. Only 181 pips above the yearly open right now. And I think when we started the week, we were about 450, if I remember correctly, something like that. And you can see we're 382, now 383 pips below the monthly open, and 274 on the week. Inside bar traders, 41.20 was the first short this week. The second short at, let's say, 140.90. And then a third short here at 140.16 for the daily, weekly, and monthly. And each one paid off. So if you would have stacked on, there was a possibility for some big gains there. Today's low is broken now. Look at the range here. We've got, let's see, 3, 6, 8 pairs over 100 with the pound clocking in at 149, only to be outdone by the beast. And the new beast was relatively quiet. You can see here at the 152.25, the psychological level just signaled. But once again, no squigglies were harmed in the making of this video right there. Breakout, previous day's low. Pivot point, we took it out, fading the pivot from the open, and then trading that open cross or waiting for the short zone. Came back a second chance, and you can see the rest is pretty much history. Rats, the red rats didn't get much of an opportunity, but the green rats have already feasted once, and I guess they're going back for a second. Not much of a feast, but a feast anyway. Now, very interesting, it looks like the smart rat is actually more than 20 pips here off the bottom. But that's the smart green rat, but the smart red rat is actually less than 20 pips. So it's slightly offset. And we're in the weekly lower rat zone, monthly lower rat zone. And once again, if you don't get these types of signals, then you're using an older version of the TRO rat zone indicator. Pivot trading plan, price near R1, near the pivot point, bias was short, definitely played out. S1 bias long. You can see here that there was a move up off of that S1 area, and now it's come back down and through. We're sitting at the S2 area. We've got a missed pivot from yesterday. We almost took out that weekly pivot from 8 weeks ago. And the monthly pivot's been taken out. So no missed monthly pivot since November 2014. Wick zone, in and out, in and out. Simple horizontal line trades. And now for the range, when we looked at this before, at the beginning, we were at the 0% like last week, to 0%, hardly any range at all, 170 pips. Now we've got 338, 82 percentile. So it's obviously a huge week. We didn't break out of the previous week's high, but we definitely broke out of the previous week's low, 278 pips. High to close, 307. Close to low, 30 at the moment. So as we saw before, we're definitely in the weekly, monthly rat zones. And we have, 8 more trading days this month. So there could be a bounce or there could be a break. We'll just have to wait and see. Daily range, 93 percentile. High minus close at the 94 percentile. Close minus low at 37. Once again, 30 pips off of that low. Daily range for the high minus the open, 28. Open minus the low, 121. So buy zone traders were definitely rewarded, as we saw earlier. Raw mall trading, following the simple rules, trading with the H1 candle color at the line. And that's pretty much all it takes. Past 3 hours, the boys in New York are probably wrapping it up after a big week. So you can see the hourly range is pretty much done. You can see we crisscrossed the double O. We're now crisscrossing the psychological 25. And it's really not too difficult to see these things. We talked this week about the DSR trades, and even here on the H1, you can see what happened. You put in a 3-ball, and that candle closed. And you see here, since it closed green, if you take the break of that previous high, you were rewarded with some pips. Then you take the pips off the table, and then you can see here the low came back. The low of this hour came below the high of this hour. So once again, you had a chance to get back in and take another trade, good for a few pips. So you can even move the DSR up to higher time frames and still take advantage. I mean, you can even look at H4. In this case, we haven't had a trigger yet. But, if you look at H4, we've got the previous H1 here. And you can see the daily lines appearing on the screen. They're here too. So on the H1, we're looking at the Walmart lines, and we're also looking at the previous hour's high and low to see if those lines are inside the Walmart lines to take that trade. So right here, we've got the line at 32 or 38.28. So rather than wait for the 30, you might take that break right here. And the simple highest low, lowest high, once again showing these trades. And remember, these zones are dynamic also. So as the chart puts in new bars, it's going to recalculate where the lowest high is. So you look, oh, I could have done that. Now you've got to look, where was that lowest high? So here we have it here. But if you were to scrunch the chart down, that's where it would be. So there was an opportunity here, and once again, a second opportunity to get in on that lowest high. And you can see here if we have the highest low, once again placing your stop just above that 2 ball that was put in. You've got an inside bar here, so look for it to break either the low or the high to see what happens. And so once again, a simple trade, horizontal lines, no squigglies. Oh, I'm only doing that because one of my buddies out there, I think he posted a chart or two with some squigglies, so I have to razz about that. But as always, you have to trade what you see, trade what works for you, and if squigglies work for you, fine. I mean, I used to trade squigglies all the time back when I was trading stocks. I had the indicator 2, which some people still swear by that indicator today. And if you look out in the MT4 motherlode, there's a TROIND2 indicator that plots the aqua and magenta dots to tell you whether you should be long or short. And when those dots change, you can just go with them. But remember, they're dynamic too, so you might want to let that candle close. It's painting the dots. But I found in FOREX and even in stock trading after I left the squigglies that horizontal lines with, levels that have a statistical edge if you take the trade. And you have to take the trade and you have to realize sometimes you're going to win, sometimes you're going to lose. So in case, if you had taken this short, maybe you picked up the pip. If you didn't take that pip, right now you'd be in a little drawdown. Your stop loss hasn't been threatened really. So you just see what happens. So fellow traders, that's it for the weekly wrap up. I hope you had a profitable week. I wish you a fun and safe weekend. And remember, when you come back and sit down at your trading platform, it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. This is TheRumpledOne, over and out.